Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Johnny with Rules for Rebels here, and in today's video I wanted to talk about DTube. DTube is kind of a new offshoot of Steemit. It's built on the Steemit blockchain. You're looking at it right now. As you can see, very similar kind of user interface to YouTube, and it markets itself as a decentralized video sharing platform, although it's not really decentralized. This has only been around for maybe about a week. A couple of you guys had actually mentioned it to me. I figured I would check it out. Watched a couple videos on the subject, which I'll discuss a little bit. One was Castle Does, who seems to be kind of a pretty smart guy tech-wise and kind of picks apart the site a little bit. That's one video. I'll link to that in the description box below. And the other one was one from, let's see, I don't want to watch Ty Lopez, but just so you guys can see what the video looks like here. This one, the free market has spoken. DTube is here, a blockchain solution to YouTube censorship. So real quickly, just to get this out of the way, this whole I'm not a super techie guy, so I really have a kind of a hard time wrapping my head around the blockchain technology and things like that. But the whole idea is everything is decentralized. It's not controlled by one central person or in one central location or by one central entity. And the fact of the matter is DTube is not decentralized. The actual links to the videos are decentralized and hosted on the blockchain, but the creator as well as Castle Does kind of go on to say that, I guess, bit files, which I guess are video files, it's not really feasible to host them on a blockchain. It would bog down, I guess, everybody who's running part of the blockchain. They said there's just no need for it, and so this dude was kind of like, I don't get why you're marketing it as decentralized. People who are super techie call those of us who aren't normies. Basically, if you're not into cryptography and programming and coding, you really don't really give a shit about the ins and outs of how the platform is built so much as is it stable and does it work. So what this dude kind of said was like, look, you're not really going to attract anybody talking about the decentralization, like bring something else to the table, because the people who like decentralization are already going to be into it, so you're kind of preaching to the choir by marketing that. But let me give you guys a quick kind of rundown of what this is before I kind of start showing it off. So I think the guy who created it, I believe his name is Adrian. I'm pretty sure, I'm in danger. I'm pretty sure this is his Steemit account. Let's see some talking points about it. Steemit is a unique blockchain. Things clear in about 3 seconds. There's no fees. So that's one of the things, is if you upvote somebody's video, they're getting all the money. If eventually it becomes kind of a peer-to-peer sharing thing like VidMe, in that case, you want to send somebody, 1 Steem, they're going to get 1 Steem. They're not going to get 0.998 Steem because there was a fee taken out. Let's see some of the shortfalls of DTube. Because it's so young, it's not completely decentralized. The videos aren't hosted there, which they may never be. People who are smart about this stuff seem to say there's no reason for it, and it's not really feasible. The guy who made it in an interview said the search feature currently isn't decentralized. He's having to run off some other existing app or something like that. Let's see some of the features. Okay, so yeah, I guess the main downside, which the creator himself said, is that it's still dependent on a few other apps and programs and things like that. Let's see, blockchain doesn't store video, not good for storing bit files. The reference to a link is what's stored on a blockchain. I guess he uses something called IPFS to run it. It's not torrent, but it's similar to torrent. It's a younger technology with, I guess, a very active community of developers. In one of the interviews I watched, I think it was this one, Press for Truth was kind of like, you can tell he's kind of pissed. I mean, understandably, but you can tell he's kind of pissed off at YouTube that he's been demonetized. And that's one thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way or annoys me, is when everybody talks about YouTube censoring. YouTube doesn't really I mean, I'm not going to say they don't take down videos. My business partner had a video taken down, but it's because he had music playing in the background. But I mean, YouTube, for the most part, unless you're putting out something like racist or something else, YouTube doesn't take down very much. I mean, do a search for like some gang stuff. I mean, there's all types of like crazy stuff posted on YouTube, and YouTube doesn't take it down. What YouTube does control is whether you can or can't monetize your video. And I mean, if that annoys you, if you do a type of content that's not able to be monetized, I definitely understand how that's annoying. But at the end of the day, YouTube isn't censoring you. If you choose not to post because you can't make money, that's on you. That's on you for not finding another revenue model. So, I mean, I would be annoyed if my YouTube videos were demonetized, but I mean, at the end of the day, if I choose to stop posting on YouTube, it's not because they censored me, it's because I'm not going to post for more money. So I wish people would be a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit less disingenuous about like YouTube censoring me. Like, no, you don't want to make content for free, which is understandable. So the guy who made DTube, it's a French guy. I guess he's like a programmer. He's between jobs right now. He said the idea was actually somebody else. He mentioned whoever else's comment it was, or whose idea it was to start it, but nobody was doing anything, so he picked up the project and ran with it. One other thing I really thought was awesome about the creator, I'll let you guys see the creator in just a second. Okay, so this guy right here is the creator of DTube. One thing that I really liked is he seemed very grounded about his project. So a lot of times when a new platform comes out, whether it be a social media platform or whatever else, you know, like even with Steemit, I see people like, oh, you know, YouTube sucks, Facebook sucks, Steemit's going to take over the world. And first off, I don't get why we need to be like, you know, very divisive between the two platforms. Like, just because you like Steemit doesn't mean you got to talk shit about YouTube or Facebook or whatever else. And I think you're actually doing a disservice to growing Steemit, because if you talk all this shit about YouTube, I like both platforms, but if I'm over here and I'm like, well, YouTube's pretty good to me, I kind of like YouTube, I don't, you know, this guy thinks YouTube sucks, maybe I, you know, why do I need to check, you know, I think it's not, you're not really helping anything by being divisive like that. But another thing I dislike is like when I first got on VidMe, people are like, YouTube sucks, VidMe's awesome, and it's like, I'm making a heck of a lot more money on YouTube than I am on VidMe. I don't think the peers paying each other for content thing is really going to pan out. And even if people do get more involved in it, it's never going to be as good as YouTube. So, or as good as advertisers, I should say. So what I liked about this dude is when this guy kept saying things like, you know, this is way better than the YouTube ad revenue model, right? And Adrian, I believe his name is, he was like, well, PewDiePie's probably not going to make more money on Steemit than he does on YouTube. Like, advertisers are going to make more money. And he even said, to some extent, he said he kind of views the Steam dollars you're earning and the Steam power as more of a bonus than something you should rely on. He mentions maybe creators should find their own ways of monetizing videos, and that you know, your upvotes and things like that are just going to be a small bonus. If Steemit grows in value, obviously it's going to be, you know, you're going to make more money being part of it. But without further ado, let's kind of hop over here. So the UI or user interface is very similar to YouTube. This is kind of, you know, how YouTube is laid out. I'll take you into a video. This is kind of one minor annoyance of mine, right? Is a while back I tried another Steemit-based app called Steepshot, and it was basically billed as like an Instagram, but for Steemit. Now, when you take a pic,
what is happening, guys? It is
what the heck? Oh,
Johnny with rules for rebels and.
Okay, let's pause that. So with Steepshot, if I took a picture on my phone with Steepshot, it would automatically add it to my Steemit blog roll. Now that kind of confused me. I'm like, different platform, but they're all posting to the same thing. Obviously, DTube and Steepshot kind of piggyback off of Steemit, but I guess what I'm having kind of a hard time wrapping my head around, and maybe you guys can answer this for me. I actually made a Steemit post about it earlier today. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Why is DTube necessary, and why should I use it in addition to Steemit? And basically what I said there was like, okay, why should I go on here and post my video as opposed to just going on Steemit where I already have an account and post my video there? Like, how do these two sites interact together, etc.? So that's kind of why I stopped using Steepshot, is I really didn't see any benefit to using it as opposed to just posting on Steemit. Now, the one advantage I do see to viewing on YouTube as opposed to Steemit is on Steemit, you know, there's a lot of just random stuff and trending things I may not be interested in, and there's a lot of writing in addition to video. So if I only want to consume video, I think it would make sense to go to DTube to search for content, because I'm not searching for video and written text or video and pictures. I'm only searching for video. One thing that kind of annoyed me about this, and as you can see, very similar to YouTube, my username, you can see the amount of upvotes I got, you can see how much money I made, you can download the video, etc. You know, here's the comments section. Here's kind of comments I have on the video already. Can you see my... Okay, they're not going to show you my tags here, but let me show you guys something. So I'm going to take you over to that video I just posted. No, I'm not going to take you to that one. I'm going to take you to this solar video. So here's this video here, right? Now, when I put up a video on DTube, let me show you what it looks like here. So I can either drag a file into here, or I can click here and it'll open my, my computer and I can browse. I can either upload a thumbnail if I have one, or I can play the video and take a snapshot of it. We have the title just like YouTube, we have the description just like YouTube, and we have the tags. So, I might put, for this video, I might put DTube, video, YouTube, social media. And then I would post it, right? Well, that's what I did here. However, look what they do to my Steemit post. So my tags are now DTube, DTube-entrepreneur, DTube-eclipse, DTube-science, DTube-e-commerce. So really, I'm not going to rank for the term e-commerce because my tag is combined with DTube. So now what I would have to do if I wanted to is go back here. I don't mind promoting DTube, right? I would make one tag for DTube so that it ranks that this video has been posted on DTube, but I don't see the need for every single one of my tags to have DTube added in front of it. So now you're taking what was a pretty cool, and I don't mean to knock it too hard, but this is just a minor annoyance. Now you're taking something that was a platform that I could use on its own, and now I'm having to go back onto Steemit, so I'm having to use two platforms at once. I'm having to go back onto Steemit to correct my tags, to then update it so I have the correct tags. And this was one of my minor annoyances and kind of why I stopped using Steepshot, is with Steepshot, they didn't do anything like this with the tags, but the whole thing was just like very glitchy. So I would wind up having to go back into Steemit to do my tags because Steepshot didn't really work for it. So I kind of got off on a rant here, but one of my questions for you guys was like, why am I going to use a Steepshot, or why am I going to use a DTube as opposed to just using Steemit? Like, what benefit does it bring me? How are these two things supposed to interact together? One other thing that's kind of interesting, so right now, let's say I want to like fill out my DTube account with videos. So I can go to my channel. Right now I have these two videos. Well, if I go over to Steemit, I have a ton of content, specifically videos, that I've created for Steemit. Well, what if I want these on DTube? So, okay, I download the video, I go over to upload it to DTube, I'm going to upload it to DTube, but what's going to wind up happening is, this video here, I posted on DTube, it automatically uploads it to my Steemit blog roll. So if I were to go back and post stuff that I've already posted on Steemit on DTube because I want it on there as well, it's now going to create a duplicate post on Steemit, so my viewers who get my updates or see my blog roll, they're going to, when I go ahead and repost Side Hustling episode 30, they're going to be, they're going to get a notification, or they're going to see it, and they're going to be, oh, what's Rules for Rebels got? And they're going to click it, and they're going to be like, well, shit, I just saw this last Tuesday. Like, why is he posting it again? So that's another kind of question I had, is like, what's the etiquette? Like, should you post on DTube and just let it post to Steemit? Is it okay to go back through content, specifically video content, you've already posted on Steemit and then go post it on YouTube? That's one thing I was kind of confused about. One other thing, I'm going to take you guys over here and show you this. So one of the nice things about DTube and Steemit is they're decentralized, or they're not really censored like YouTube is. You put up a YouTube video with copyrighted music in it, and that thing's going to get caught in like 2 seconds. On DTube, I don't know if this is true or not, even though it's not decentralized. Adrian, the guy behind DTube, said with that IFPS or whatever it is and the blockchain, he said he can't go and remove stuff. So, I mean, hypothetically crazy situation here, but let's say somebody goes and posts the Mayweather-McGregor fight on here. Like, I'm sure the promoters behind that fight are going to be trying to get it taken down. Whether they can or can't make that happen, I don't know. Say somebody posts child porn on here. Say somebody, say there is a reason for a central authority to have some control. There is sometimes a need for censorship, and if there's completely no censorship, I mean, shoot, somebody was posting Game of Thrones episode. Let's see, somebody was posting full episodes of Game of Thrones on here. And I'm sure HBO is going to be coming after them. Now, whether they have the ability to take it down, or whether they can sue this guy who created the site, because unlike like Pirate Bay and torrent sites where people are like hidden and anonymous and it's all about like anarchy, Like, the guy just did an interview, right? Like, this is, or not this, like, this is the guy behind the site. So if people start posting crazy shit, who do you think HBO or the FBI or whoever is going to come find and say take it down? It's going to be this guy. So I'm not sure whether things can be taken down, and I guess we could have the argument of, is decentralization good, or should there be some form of censorship? But I mean, look at this. We have full episodes of Game of Thrones. Like, I don't think that's really the type of stuff that you want on your platform, and I just think it's going to bring trouble and maybe even bring a bad name to decentralization. But I guess one last thing, if anybody's interested in DTube, I mean, I don't think this thing's going to blow up overnight. A while back, I told you guys about VidMe, and I said, oh, it might be worth checking out. I've completely abandoned this site. I don't really get any enjoyment out of it. I feel like all the content is gaming and animation based, as you can see here. Just not really my thing. I don't think the peer-to-peer paying each other thing is going to work. So, you know, this was kind of you know, we're going to take on YouTube. It didn't work out. I like DTube better. I think, you know, even though it's only a couple days old, a week old, I think it's better put together than VidMe. I would much rather earn money through Steemit than through people having to contribute $1 to me. Not only are people not willing to take out their credit card just to give you $1 for every video they watch, which is a huge pain in the ass, but the other thing is most people aren't going to come out of their pocket and pay for content. They may support you by watching an ad and not skipping it. They may support you by upvoting it, but most people aren't going to take out their wallet and give you money. And I think that's one of the cool things about DTube is nobody has to come out of their money and come out of their pocket and give you $1. All they have to do is upvote your content, and their account's going to give some Steam dollars and some Steam power to your account. But yeah, very new site. If you guys are creators, if you're already on YouTube, or you know, already creating YouTube or Vimeo content or whatever else, or even VidMe content, I see no reason not to re-upload your content here as well. It's another place to get people to maybe see you. It's another way to make some money. So I wasn't really sure what this video was going to be about when I made it. I guess we'll call it like an intro on my initial impressions to DTube. But that is that, guys. If any of you guys want to, you know, I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. Drop a comment in the comment section below. One thing I'd specifically like to know is, how is Steemit and like third-party apps, for lack of a better word, supposed to interact? Like, what's the relationship between Steemit and DTube? Why, you know, what is in it for me to post on DTube as opposed to just posting directly on Steemit? If some of you guys can kind of talk that through with me, I'd be interested in hearing that. But anyhow, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you tomorrow for Side Hustle Tuesdays. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. For YouTubers, for Steemians, please follow me, upvote, all that good jazz. And again, I'll catch you guys tomorrow for Side Hustle Tuesdays.